Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Mile 20 Mindset. This is a running podcast for elite runners, novice runners, people that just are interested in running. This is the show for you. I got an incredible guest, an incredible runner, 10-time marathon, 6-star major runner, got a 50K under her belt. Please welcome to the show, Daisy Hidalgo.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Let's go ahead and start from the beginning. I would love to know where your running story truly began. Was it
Mhm.
just for the fitness? Was it for mental? Was it a personal thing? Where
Yeah.
did it begin?
So honestly, my running started back when I lived in Boston. So I moved to Boston in 2016, and I had no intention of starting to run at any point in my time there. I actually had a roommate who ran a lot, and she was always kind of like pushing, like, "Hey, let's go on a run, let's go on a run, let's go on a run." And finally, I don't know how she convinced me to sign up for a half marathon.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just went straight into it. So I signed up for a half marathon. So I did my first one on Martha's Vineyard, and then I said I was never gonna do this again because
As we all do.
I was in after the race, I had the biggest Charlie horse on one of my calves, and I was like, the rest of the day, I was in bed all day.
Okay, so it sounds horrible. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah. It
nothing about that says I'm going to go run 10 of these things. I'm going to run a 50K.
No,
So
no,
so
no, no,
so my
no.
next question is when I guess when was the moment that you decided like I'm going to run my first marathon?
Yeah. So it was, I think the following year in 20, I want to say 2019,
Mhm.
New Year's resolution. I was like, I'm gonna sign up for a marathon. So that's really kind of how it started
Mhm.
of I'm gonna run a marathon this year. I don't know which marathon, but I'm gonna do one.
Right.
So I ended up signing up for one in Maine, and I did the Mount Desert Island one, which was later in the year in the fall. Very
Okay.
hilly course, beautiful route. But through that journey, I started off doing a lot of my runs by myself.
Mm.
Had no idea what I was doing. I think I looked up maybe like a plan online, did a quick Google search, which I'm sure many of us have done. How to
Well,
run
I
a
mean,
marathon.
listen, like it's in 2019. Like I started, I ran my first one in 2018, and that was when sort of no one was really running like that. It was you couldn't go on social media and find any tips about marathons. You just had to go out there, Google
Yeah,
or learn through experience. So,
yeah.
with that being said, you Googled, you did this thing. What did training teach you about yourself? Like, what did it teach you? What was the hardest part of it?
The hardest part was actually getting out the door
Mm,
because I feel like once you're out there, like whether you're running 1, 2 miles, cool, I'll do it. But it's really just getting up. And even after now, speaking to this point, like having run so many, like you're always going to have that little voice in your head that's gonna tell you, get back into bed.
yeah.
you know?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I mean that happened this morning. I
Right.
went
Right.
this morning. So yeah, so that was probably one of the hardest part, and also just doing a lot of the runs by myself.
Hmm.
I think it's a little bit times sometimes feels intimidating because you're supposed to go out and do a certain amount of miles, and you're just
Right.
like, cool, like I'm gonna run whatever. And then actually during that training, I ended up meeting a couple of friends I went to a friend's party and I met up with a few folks that were running actually with the run crowd in Boston called
Wow.
Pioneer. So that was my first running experience with an actual run crew. A lot of them were training for Chicago Marathon. And so then they were like, hey, you should come run with us. And I think a lot of times that's another intimidating part, going to a run club, you're not familiar with anybody,
Right.
you don't wanna, you know, you don't know what level they're at, and you're just kind of like, "Ooh," it's like new day at school kinda situation.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're the new
Yeah.
kid there.
Yeah.
But no, I think meeting them was just such a blessing for me because
Mm,
that kind of was, like, the turning point for me where things now just became more than just a run. It's like that I think building that community and that consistency with the community, I think really helped that journey that year when I was training for my first
mhm.
marathon, and then the continuance of that to even where I'm at now.
Wow. So when like running is a personal sort of meditation for me. And like what did you learn about yourself through this training while
Mhm.
running by yourself and then now while running with a group? How did
Yeah.
what was it about you that you learned through the running?
I think I just learned so much about what my body is able to do. Um, I think each little additional mile just became like a milestone that I was able to accomplish. So I'm like, dang, like I did 3 miles this week. And then next week, now I got to go and do 5 miles. Like,
Right.
how am I going to do that? And then you slowly increase that mileage. And then you get to that point where you're like, dang, I'm at 20 miles now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ran
Yeah.
far.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like that
So
little, like, turning point in your head where it's just like, I can do it." Like, I did 4 or 5 last week, I have 8 to do now. I got it, I got
yep.
it.
Yep. So let's go to take us to race day. Like I love hearing everyone's first experience, first time sort of getting into the marathon mindset, the
Ugh,
right at the seeing the corrals. I'm not sure how big of a marathon your first one was, but
mhm,
take us to race day. Like the race day that morning, early in the morning as it is, I'm
mhm,
sure. Take us there.
mhm. So, the marathon in Maine was a smaller course race, it was one of those local races. They had a really nice dinner, for example, like, the night before, so that's how small it was. But that morning of, I remember I woke up my best friend who happened to be living in Maine, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be here. Can you come cheer me on?" Because I didn't have anybody else. So she dropped me off. I went to the start, took a quick picture. It was freezing. I had gloves on. And I was just kind of like looking around. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, where do I go now? Like, what time are
Right.
we starting? Like, this person over here has really cool gear, and I'm over here with I didn't even know what I was wearing.
It's like,
But
wait a minute, y'all bought clothes for this? Like, wait a minute,
where did I ended up the gloves that I wore were free gloves that they were giving out that morning. I think it like some sponsor, and
yeah.
I kept those white gloves the entire time. I think I might still have them.
Wow, 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 wow. I love it.
But yeah, there was just so much going on in that I think in that moment in my head because like this is my first race in a new city.
So did you have any expectations for yourself? Like, did you come in like, all right, I'm running this marathon, I'm gonna hit this time, or I'm like any sort of personal goals prior to just then finishing?
I mean, that was the goal to finish. I mean, it was my first one. I honestly like at that point, like, I had no idea of, like, paces, like, I think even leading up to the run itself, I never really focused on, like, "Oh, I'm gonna run, like, a 10 or 11-minute pace." I was just mostly focused on the finishing part, but I
Mhm.
think what kinda helped was that, the night before I had met this girl, and she was also running her first marathon, and she was just kind of like we were chatting, and I was like, "Well, what time do you think you're gonna finish?" And she was like, "I don't know." She was like, "5 hours, 5:20." And I'm like, "Okay, I think I'm gonna finish around that time too. Do you
Right,
want"
right.
So that kinda helped because I met her the night before, we met up in the morning, and we kind of, like, ran together, and so I think in my head knowing that she was running at a pace similar to me was really nice because then I had somebody else for, like, that accountability,
Right.
and that marathon was very hilly. I hadn't
Okay,
looked
so So let's talk about it. So you got a partner now and
Mhm.
you start running.
Mhm.
Let's just go there. Let's go to the mile 20 moment. That moment where everybody
Yeah.
that's running a marathon, it happens for everyone at different times, but when
Mhm.
the wall happens, when all the doubt, everything, all of that, when the I always like to say anything that the bully from 8th grade hops right in front of your face and just how whatever your brain could do to tell you to stop.
Oh,
When
man.
was that moment? Take us there.
Honestly, I think the moment for me was all those hills because
Like, every hill was the moment.
yeah, the girl that I ended up running with, she counted all the hills and it was the same amount of miles. So every so often, that's how many hills you had. I can't remember the elevation because it was through Acadia National Park. So if you're familiar with Acadia out in Maine, it's a
No,
beautiful
but
area.
26 hills is crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Beautiful core. Again, I feel like I did it because of the views, is what I tell myself.
Right, right.
And every time I recommend it, I'm like, "Oh, it's a beautiful course, but there's also hella hills." But yeah, I think it was just one of those moments where because there were so many hills, I think it was just one of those like, "Okay, one step at a time. If I have to walk, I'm gonna walk. If I have to walk the hill, I'm gonna walk the hill." And we're over here chatting with, Mike or something, and this is his 15th time running this marathon. And we're over here struggling up this hill, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"That'll be me one day."
All right. So take us to the finish line. What was it? How did it feel? Like how did it feel to cross the
Oh,
finish
man.
line knowing what you just did?
Uh, it was like an emotional moment for me. It was so overwhelming, but in a good way
Mm,
that I mean, just thinking about it now and like every other race that I've done, it's just like getting to that moment that you've worked hard for, especially an unfamiliar one at this stage in my life
mm,
with running.
mm-hmm.
It's like there's the finish line. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get this medal. So yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing that I love hearing everybody's experiences when it comes to doing their first marathon
Yeah.
and getting to that finish line. But I feel like with every race, every race is so different. So even though you've crossed 1, 2 marathon finishes, each race is so different in itself
Yes.
and like the build up to it.
And that's how I sort of relate it to life, man, or any type of goal that I'm in search for. Every race, every, accomplishment that I've ever had the pleasure of running, it's all different. You go through different obstacles, you go through different challenges. So after your first one, what did it how did it affect you as a person and whether your personal life, business, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, I think in general, running for me as a whole has been a way for me to like help clear my mind. I feel like I slowly, with like the work life balance kind of situation, like that little bit of anxiety started to come up a little bit more. And I think with the running, it really helped me clear my mind because like having that fresh air is what helps me, at least when I feel like I'm getting overly anxious.
Mhm, mhm.
And so I think after that, just being able to continue running, I think was like such a big help for me. Wasn't training for a marathon because I took a break right afterwards from like longer distances, and
Mhm.
so um but being able to continue, and again I think because I was able to connect with pioneers, then I was still able to continue and do runs with them on their weekly runs.
Right.
It also allowed me to challenge myself because living in Boston, you're running in the cold.
Ooh, yeah, I got family in Boston. Jamaica Heights. Is it Jamaica Heights, I believe?
Jamaica Plain.
Jamaica Plain. Yes, yes, yes. I got family out there, man. It's freezing. And I did the movie The Equalizer in
Oh,
Boston.
cool.
So I was there for like
Yeah, yeah.
3 months. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was there for like
Was it
three
in the
months filming
cold?
that. No, no, it was summertime. It was summertime. It was
Okay.
great. It was great. It was great. It was great. It was great. I can't do the cold. I'm from California. I'm a
I mean,
Cali
I live
boy.
in LA now.
Oh, So you get it. You
You
get
ain't
it. We
gonna
just
catch
had a
me
little.
outside
I,
under I mean, this morning was cold, trust me.
listen. You get spoiled. You get spoiled.
Yep.
A couple more questions, and this more or less is about your pursuit of the majors.
Yeah,
I'm currently 3 out of 7 since they added Sydney. I run Sydney
right.
this August. I run Sydney this year, so I'm excited about that. Um, and I got into Boston, but then COVID hit, and then I had to run it virtually. They don't even count it. I'm pissed, but it's all right. We're gonna figure that out. We're gonna
We're
figure
gonna
that
do
out.
it. We're gonna do it. When the moment
We go.
comes, do it.
That's right. That's right. I'll be in Boston for sure. But so what? So you finished your first one, and then what made you decide like I'm going for these majors?
Yeah. So when I signed up for Chicago, I think at that time I wasn't super familiar with the majors. Like
Mm,
even when I that first couple of years of running, I heard people throw out the word probably a few times, and then I did Chicago. I entered in through the lottery, and then it just became one of those things where it's like, hey, like this is something that I could see myself working towards.
yeah.
But I think when I first started, it was something that didn't even cross my mind. I had no idea what it was. People talked about it. People threw out the word majors. They threw out certain cities that they were going to be running in and whatnot. And I was like, cool. I'm gonna run Chicago because I entered this lottery and I got it.
Right,
Lucky.
right, right. I love it. I love it,
Yeah.
man. Like it just reminds me of my running journey as it was again, it wasn't as popular, so there wasn't these sort of clear roadmaps of everything that entails with running. But the I really love the discovery that I had during that time where like all of this was kind of new. It was this sort of underground community like
And then the
majors,
last
like what's
year,
that?
it blew up.
It's
I mean, it's harder to get into some of the majors into than some of these Ivy League schools.
yes.
I'm like, dang,
Yes,
it's
it
crazy.
is, man. But I just love that people are finding a way to connect with themselves because I think that's what running is, man. And when you cross that finish line, no one can take credit for what you've done. And I think that gives a person so much confidence on whatever things outside of running they want to pursue. So lastly, what would be your biggest tip to runners that want to run their first marathon?
This thing of two things: get a good
Okay.
pair of running shoes.
Mhm, mhm.
We know how important that is.
Yep.
I think that kind of helps build everything else up. And honestly, enjoy the journey because I feel like one of the biggest things is that we get too into our heads sometime about there's a comparison game that we all go down that road at some point where it's like, oh man, like they just completed this and I feel like I haven't done much. But I think it's just one of those things like individually, like you're on your own running journey and you need to enjoy that to its full
Mm,
capacity. Like enjoy every mile that you're running, even if you're just feeling overwhelmed with the amount of miles that you have to do or just like, oh man, I don't want to get up. Um, and it's gonna happen. You're gonna have those moments where you're gonna skip a long run, and I think it's okay. And don't let that then be a determining factor for the rest of your training. So get a good pair of running shoes and enjoy that journey that you're in, because each of us has its own path, and they're all specific to us.
beautifully said, beautifully said. All right, well, let's close out this incredible interview with what I like to call out my knees out speed questions. That's my running crew. It's called the Knees Out Coalition. Yeah, it was when, dudes wearing short shorts wasn't in style. I looked crazy out there. But yeah, we started the crew
Hoochie
and then
days.
yeah, exactly. That they wouldn't even call hoochie daddies
Yeah,
back then.
no, no.
You just looked weird. It was like, why you out here with them short shorts on? Like I
I
would
got
have
short
listen, that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other conversation. But so these are one word answers, and you answer with knees out, meaning yes, and then knees in, meaning no. All right. So did you ever think about quitting during training, but still showed up for yourself anyway?
Yes.
That would be knees out. It'd be knees out, knees out. All right. So do you believe everyone has at least one marathon in them?
Say, what was it? Yes, knees out?
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so, I think so. I think with a little bit of push, everybody, I think, has a marathon in them.
I love. I've asked several people this question, and no one has definitively. Everybody thought. Everybody's like, ooh, like they got that one friend. Like I don't know if they gonna make it. so, so,
Honestly, we all start at some point, we're like, "That's never gonna be me." And then look at us now. Oh, I don't wanna count anybody out.
exactly, exactly. But it's funny how everybody hesitates though. I'm talking about everybody that asks that question be like, ooh. Even though they've proven it to themselves, it's like, well, I
Yeah,
don't know about everybody else.
yeah,
All right, next question is the marathon more mental or physical?
mental.
Okay, okay, okay. And I usually say marathon in this question, but I see you have a 50K on your resume.
I do.
Would you ever run another 50K?
You know, I'm gonna say knees out for yes.
Yeah.
I don't know when,
Okay,
but
okay.
I can easily be persuaded because I'm just saying I can
All
easily
right,
be
I
persuaded.
haven't done a 50K. It sounds insane, and I'm a person that I go running with the bulls. I jump out of planes. I bungee jump. I it sounds in my resume of like I might
Yeah.
need that one on there. I might need a 50K on there.
Catalina Island 50K. If you need a one to do, it's out here in California.
Really,
That was the one that I did.
Catalina, and I love Catalina Island.
Oh, well, there you go. It's in
Yeah.
January every year. So they got
Okay.
a
Okay.
50K and a 50 miler.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. I'll look that one up. All right. Next question is: do you think running changes someone beyond the miles?
Yes. Knees out. Yes.
All right,
Absolutely.
all right. Well, listen, man. Thank you, everybody, for viewing and watching us today, and listening as well, as we're on all the audio podcasts. This is another incredible episode of Mile 20 Mindset. Peace, y'all.